Today, let's see what $310 gets you in Fukuoka, Japan. Today's apartment is located in the West Ward, the closest train station being Kyudai Gakkentoshi. This room is located on the second floor of this apartment building. These smaller apartment buildings tend not to have elevators, it just being 1 or 2 floors, so it can be an issue if people have any kind of mobility problems. And you just saw there's lots of stairs here too. Right away, we're greeted by the bathroom area. The bedroom and kitchen are on the upper floor. So as I mentioned earlier, the closest train station is Kyudai Gakkentoshi, which out here you are pretty far away from Hakata Station and downtown and such. But you are very close to Kyushu University. So if you're coming to Fukuoka to study, there's actually a lot of great apartments near the universities. This particular apartment has free Wi-Fi, which is great. And if you're a student, you can get special discounts. They have student plans. Just because we're far away from the center of the city doesn't mean we're missing anything. From this apartment to the train station, it's about a 7-minute walk. And right next to the train station is a giant mall. And another 8 minutes away, you have Donki. So really, you have everything you need in this area. You are near an area called Itoshima, and it's just filled with absolutely beautiful nature. So if you're ever just coming to Fukuoka to visit, highly recommend looking up Itoshima. This apartment is for the monthly rent of 49,000 yen, which is roughly 310 USD. Sometimes I get the question, can I pay a year's worth of rent up front? And really that'll depend on the landlord and the company you're going through and such. But I know a decent amount of students who have come from America and Europe, and they've just paid up front 1 year. And I mean, if we're looking at this apartment and we're just taking the base rent alone, not counting utilities and such, you're looking at, a year's rent being under $4,000. And of course, not everyone has this ability. Wages are a lot higher in the US, and so, it's easier to save up that amount of money. Cost of living is way higher in the US, but you save a bunch of money up, you move to Japan, your buying power is a lot higher. And these students tend to either have parents paying for them or they have saved up quite a bit to come to school here. Even with the lower wages here, this apartment's still pretty affordable. If you were to work at Ichiran here in Fukuoka City, starting wages is like 1,200 yen and 1,500 for a nighttime shift. Or if you get a job as an English teacher, I know people in the city making, 2,100 an hour. Also, I know some people making 3,000 an hour. So you can live pretty comfortably here. Again, lower wages, but I think cost of living is much closer. I know in the United States right now, you sure do make a lot more money, but everything else is so much more expensive. And somewhat of my friends have told me the rent they pay, it's shocking. I personally am at the age where I do not want to have roommates, but if I were to, move back to Seattle, I probably would have to have at least one. This apartment definitely has an interesting layout. I definitely wish there was options like this when I was in college, but again, I lived in Seattle, so housing was just so expensive even then. But here as a college student, yeah, you can rent this and it's not crazy. Also, if you don't want to live in an apartment, dormitories here can be extremely cheap also. It was fun coming out here to look at these apartments. I had a request to come out here. So if there's places you guys want to see, let me know. Overall, I think this is a really great apartment, especially for college students. Let me know what you think of this apartment. And as always, would you live here?